Is it really better than Botox? Is my name really Kevin? And what year did JFK's brain go missing? Find out all that and more right now, actually. No, yes, 1965. Ahoy, and welcome back to a rather long-awaited return to Diecast reviewing here on the channel. I've been away. I've been doing things. I've been covering races and going to races and something or another. But it's officially the off season, and it is time to return to Diecast Reviewing Ways, and this is going to be the first in a series of NHRA-themed Diecast reviews, because all of a sudden now, thanks to someone, I now have an NHRA collection, apparently. Anyways, this is of David Grubnic's 2006 Team Kalita Strivectin SD Top Fuel Dragster in 1 to 24 scale. This one is made by Auto World, and yeah, let's get into this. Obviously, Top Fuel Dragster. This is the first time I've actually reviewed one of these, so this is gonna be interesting to kind of dive in and talk about it. I don't even know where to start, so I guess we could start at the front. We have a 1-800 number. I will give a crisp high five to anybody who calls this number and asks about this product and if it's still available. Looks like going up the nose, we got a picture of the product on the nose, which is great to see a Strivectin SD product. Strivectin? Hey, look, it's Mr. Mighty Mac on YouTube. Going up the nose, and it's going to be more efficient to do it this way. You can see it's spelled out in long ways, you know, the classic Top Fuel way. And as probably all of you know with these Top Fuel dragsters, you can remove this. Now,
please listen closely as our menu options have changed. To speak with a representative, please press 5 now. This call may be recorded for quality and training purposes. Thank you for calling. You reached us after hours.
Oh, well, I did promise a crisp high five.
But is it better than Botox? I guess we'll never know.
I want to know who this girl is. Okay, so if you look in here, you can see a bunch of frame rails, you can see the steering column, and you can see the fuel cell up in front. It's a little bit basic, especially in comparison to what Action was doing at the time, but, you know, you can't have everything. But Action did make a version of this car, and I do actually kind of want to get this. Now, this car is some weird, I'm going to call it Pepto-Bismol pink, because it really is. But we'll start going down the nose on this side now. We have Strivectin SD really small down there, in case you didn't know what this car was sponsored by the big spelling out on the nose and everything. Redline oil, of course, you have your tiny front wheels. And then Strivectin SD. And then, of course, the other thing, better than Botox, question mark. Now, there used to be billboards with this signage on them at select racetracks at the time. Again, this is a 2006 car, so that's an interesting one. And then interesting below the better than Botox, there's a little point there. Botox is a registered trademark of Allergen Inc. I didn't notice that one before, but it does say Botox is a registered trademark. And then, of course, we have Mystery Girl here. Again, try to find her. And then we have a picture of the bottle. Up here, we got quite a few things like Kalita Air, Mechanics Wear, Redline Oil, Cogistics, and Summit. And then Fisker Honda, Bonifant, Xantrex, and Technicoat. Over here on this little arrow piece, I forgot what they actually call it. What do they call this piece? This piece. Okay, so on this piece, we have Strivectin SD, Weld, Perfect Circle, Goodson, Clevite, which is, I believe, belts and hoses, and then JB something or something. I've seen that on an IndyCar review before. And now we get to where the real detail is, and that is on the engine. So up top, obviously, if you don't know anything about Top Fuel cars, these are all Hemi blocks, V8s, obviously. They're supercharged. They make, at the time, they were estimated out at what, like 8,000 horsepower?
What, the engine?
Yeah, at the time. Now they're estimated out to 11 to 12,000, but at the time they were estimated out about 8.
About 9.
Yeah. So Up top, we got the big blower here. The butterflies do actually function. There is no like decaling or printing on the butterflies on this one, though. On some of them, there are. We have this little thing here. Now, this is basically to keep all the debris in case the blower pops kind of concentrated inside. Kind of keep it. It uses a debris blanket, basically, to keep debris, and if you're going 300 miles per hour, any small piece of debris is shrapnel, from penetrating anybody or anything around and causing more harm than possible, because these things are literally bombs. They were made in a bomb factory. Check out Noah's TikTok. You'll get the reference. It's a SpongeBob reference. But anyways, we have Fram here on the...
Pies, too. You can make pies, too.
We have Fram here on the valve cover. Of course, you have the 4 individual headers. Down here, we have a boatload of sponsors that we don't have time for. Underneath, you can see your oil pan down there, as well as your clutch casing. This is worse than when doing it with David. You can also see where the parachutes kind of tether into the chassis. Underneath, you can see... Oh, the front wing got caught. It's a weirdly gold chassis, but you can see some of the chassis rails. You can see this little almost cockpit structure where the driver sits. He's doing this as payback now. Back here, we do have... What do they call those things?
Call what?
Oh, I think they're like Buckaroo Buddies or something.
Something like that. Yeah, Buckaroo Buddy.
So up here we have more sponsors, including the Budweiser Shootout. Yes, that was a thing in NHRA at the time. And then also the NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series logo. And then also NHRA Full Throttle Drag Racing Series logo. It has both. It has NHRA Full Throttle, at least. Up here on the front, we got that phone number again. Again, call it, see what you get. And then Redline Oil. Strivectin SD on the back of the wing. I know it's very hard to see at this angle because I'm against a Top Fuel dragster and a wall. And I don't think the Top Fuel dragster would win. And trust me, I do have a history of throwing that shit at things. But wheelie bar, it is plastic. It is fragile. I want to say that about these Auto World ones. That the wheelie bar, even to this day, they are fragile because of the way that they're mounted in. Originally, the Auto World casting didn't have this in, and they never really updated it. They just made a plastic part and kind of tacked it in the back later. This side is basically the same. The only real difference comes from the engine. You can see the magnetos and the wiring that go to said magnetos are there. Obviously, this is a post, I think it was 2004 car, so it has this titanium shielding behind the cockpit to kind of protect the driver a little bit from shrapnel from the engine, because apparently someone died from that. I don't remember his name.
Daryl Russell.
Daryl Russell, there you go. He died because shit from the engine came forward and kind of messed him up. But yeah, usually I have a lot to say at the end of these things. I do want to get the action version because it's just an all-around better casting than this. It's interesting that this casting has been used for quite some time. I mean, we saw this exact casting come out with a Alex Laughlin car last year. But for all the open canopy cars, it's all the same casting. There's no differentiation or anything like that, like you see with the actions, or yeah, from the action, sorry. So Auto World hasn't really changed that much. I'm curious to see, because I have my first canopy car coming in with an Austin Proc here in a week or so, hopefully, to see kind of what's different, what's the same. But this is a die-cast partnership that still maintains to this day between Auto World and the NHRA. So at least there's some continuity there. And unlike Greenlight, they haven't had to change their casting a million times. They've only had to really change it once. So, but other than that, we're going to do something actually a little different. So to give a little bit of a story, and I need to actually move this back because it's what's holding the camera in this case, because we don't have the production quality of Mighty Mac on YouTube. We're using a cell phone that costs more than all of our camera equipment combined. So for Black Friday, this was one of the purchases. It was $25, which is a really good deal considering a lot of top fuel cars go for over 100. But I made a purchase from John Force Racing, and we will see this car in a review at a later time. This is a Gary Denson 2004 car. So this is pre-Robert Height Auto Club funny car. And you can still buy these from John Force Racing. brand new, sealed and packaged. They're $35. Now, with that said, there are 2 remaining. So that means that these have sat there for I don't know how many years and just collected dust. Well, there was 3 remaining. Now there's 2. So I'm curious how long it's going to take until those 2 sell. So from every video here until they do sell out, I will give you an update on every diecast review if it's how many are still available, and remind you that you should probably get Gary Denson diecast because it's very random and it's pre-Robert Height. So with that said, my Welcome Back YouTube review is now finished. I have some Subway to go eat and some Dr. Pepper to drink. So I will see you in the next review.
There's 2 left. There's still 2 left.
Thanks for the update. Noah will give us an update every single time. There are 2 of these left.
It's 50% off.
It's always been 50% off.
Yeah, just so you know.
Anyways, by the way, if you are wanting to buy this car for some reason, John Forrest Race Station, look it up on the internet. You can also buy yeah, you can buy, this is turning into a mess, but you can also buy this signed Destination Force comic book for $1. So get yourself your Gary Denson diecast, get yourself your $1 signed comic book, and until then, we will see you in the next review. Peace out. Nothing? All right, see ya.